Prima facie duties that we have to follow based on particular circumstances are preferable to absolute duties. Two reasons. First, monistic moral theories fail means we should reject absolute duties in favor of prima facie duties to Sonny or 6. Monistic theories were overly rejectable when we reason about a situation. We generally take more into account than just whether we produce pleasing consequences of absolute duty. Keep our promises. There must be a way to keep both these ideas in mind. The way to find all relevant considerations by looking at relationships. We have people comparing relationships. We have people as well as varying situations we can be confronted with. All that we can truly rely on our intuition. Theories based on absolute duties fail to respect relationships. People not just in a beneficiary relationship, but also as parent, friend, employee, etc. Duties that we have with these people are not absolute because they're not always relevant. Change their stringency. Ross's answer is prima facie duties. Situations we tend to have the duty to keep our promises unless whether the duty tells us otherwise. And second, reflective equilibrium. Reflective equilibrium is a beneficial approach to moral questions. 2 warrants. Daniel 79. Background theories from theory of the person, general social theory, neural balance, desire, level 3 theories, principles, shows level 2. Must match considerable choices of reflective equilibrium, feasible, stable, moral, society, wide equilibrium, benefit moral equilibrium. First, philosophers such as many apparently moral disagreements for some, non-moral disagreements, wide equilibrium, maybe more systematic structure, sources of agreement. Philosophers that help us understand factors, constraint considerations, people treated as relevant and moral reasoning, likely suggestions that these features find out underlying level 3 theories and level 2 principles, selectors, and accurate moral psychology. We have to incorporate wide equilibriums in science, judgments about plausibility, various concerns, connected theories are found acceptable, and reflective equilibrium justifies the holding prima facie duties to Sonny 6. The procedural equivalence uses this reflective equilibrium, the reflective equilibrium to which he feels is just adjusting more principles to intuitions with his wide appealing and non-dividing facts and evaluations, explaining personal relationships. The pluralist account why we possess these principles rather than reflectively endorse intuitions, principles, and increase screens when they are subjected to reflective improvement. With this procedure in place, there's no need for the pluralists have a first principle. Ross uses this process to discover prima facie duties. Use reflection to look at the relationships we have with other people, then reflective equilibrium to see which duties fit these relationships the most fundamental, and this justifies principles and pluralistic and requires weighing prima facie duties of respect for autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice, time, no date. And that is morally right effects of the action that we select by one is perfectly balanced, respect for autonomy, non-maleficence, beneficence, justice. Both Chan and Chan to say Ross is a distinction between prima facie and natural obligations, and informs our analysis of prima facie obligation is binding, let's say, competing moral obligation outweighs in particular circumstance actions of several qualities. Whether an action really is right is determined by the entirety to the action, not just one characteristic. Given that the notion such Ross's theory of right action principles and likewise theory of right action, and I contend that presumed consent for organ procurement from the deceased respects are prima facie duties under principles of my defendant opt-out system. A, beneficence, presumed consent is key to beneficence, which turns util. It leads to it contributes to an increase in organization wellborn for team. Regression analysis comparing donation rates going to countries over 10 years. Reported that the countries operating presumed consent and donation rates 25 to 30% higher after taking into account the expenditure of religious legislative systems. Systematic review concluded that relative contribution to this change for relative changes in education and infrastructure was not clear. However, the regression analysis leads to at least some increase in donation rates would occur purely as a result of presumed consent being incompatible with beneficence. Beneficence is at the heart of util, increasing supply of organs, transplants, and also supported by util, and opt-out means more people will consent and here Spirit Taylor and Sunsi Day. An online survey asked people whether they would be donors in the explicit consent condition. Participants were told the default was on to be a donor in the PC version. The default was to be a donor. The default mattered a lot, but participants had to opt in only 42% to move when they had to opt out. 82% agreed. Johnson and Goldstein analyzed such laws by comparing countries with presumed consent and explicit consent. In Germany, which uses opt in, only 12% gave consent, whereas in Austria, 99% did, and Belgium and Austria approved Taylor and Sons made. An online survey asked people whether they never mind. That I copy and pasted the same copy, never mind. No, conscription can't stop leads to backlash and circumvention straddle of its force. If organ harvesting violates moral religious convictions, government attempts to use force prevent organ destruction will encounter substantial resistance or for those who wish to keep the bodies intact may adopt death penalty strategies and the initiative may direct the removal of their bodies friendlier jurisdictions. B, autonomy versus respect for wishes, presumed consent with respect to wishes of most people well born 14. If individuals are not registered under the current system, the wishes may not be fulfilled. 70% of the UK population are not on the organ donor registers based on reports 90% support organ donation up to 30% of individuals would wish to donate not the wishes granted. There's potential for the 10% against donation not have the wishes of their families and only consent to donation. Presumed consent go against wishes 10% of most, and this is an intuitive approach to autonomy for the medical profession. Guild 4. Consider the following scenario: you are in a community in which higher percent oppose all medical treatment. 30% of Christian scientists one day 30-year-old is put around your emergency room. He's unconscious, will die without immediate surgery. Beach and pentagram is saying that the 30% chance the person's not going to be operated on makes operating wrong, but I doubt that this conclusion tracks our moral intuitions. There's a 70% chance that we will treat the person the way you want, and most would think it morally acceptable, if not required, to have the greatest chance of success. If your mistake claim thus constitutes powerful reason for presumed consent, and the non-interference model of autonomy fails the brain death like agency. Guild 4. With a living person, we have two options: do something in the person's body, or refrain. When we refrain, what would do nothing to prevent her own decisions. We do not violate autonomy. We do not have the same two options. If brain dead to refrain will not allow the person to determine for herself, the best we can do is treat her the way she most likely would have wanted. And when we're unsure about a patient's wishes, the idea that mistaken removal of organs is worse than mistaken non-removal is false. DNR is proved. Guild 4. Consider that a non-negligible person of elderly and terminal patients prefer not to be resuscitated. So what do EMTs do when they encounter an unconscious patient? EMTs treat the patient even if they know there's a chance that the person would prefer not. Our current practice seems to embody the idea that it's morally worse not to perform an invasive procedure. Current practice is not a prohibition pit's idea that we're justified only if the chance is virtually non-existent, and this justifies the respect for wishes model and presumed consent well born for team. Under the respect for wishes model, both mistaken removal and non-removal are equal. Ethical significance follows the most ethical consensus. If organ donation goes against the wishes of the fewest number of people, which is the system of presumed consent. Second, informed consent mandated choice violates informed consent. Guild 4. There's a significant moral difference between informed consent and mere consent. Patient self-determination is not protected if she really signs informed patient does not know the facts. And for consent is morally tainted. The problem with mandated choice is that someone who would be forced to answer the question on the tax forms lack the input to make a truly informed decision, and family veto solves. Guild 4. Poll numbers and opting out would give us reason to presume that the organic change presumed consent must include a mechanism that can provide presumption. The mechanism should be discussion with the family. We should inform the family as best we can, for we fully respect autonomy, not merely backing court person's statements, but only within court position going policy that's subject to autonomy is presumed consent with the family veto, and family veto is normal means whereas in 11. We obtained data from 496 Foundation's Board of Accuracy Organization Partners by the WHO and additional 5 nations around all 25 nations with presumed consent next to form 25, 21 of the 25 presumed consent nations lie next to objective right potential donation. C. Non-molescence principle. Non-molescence justifies presumed consent well over 15. Non-molescence should be potential donors around the harm not be done something after they genetically utilize 5 organs which could potentially be life-saving. This immense harm to thousands who need and die for lack of organ transplant. Some fear the doctors may not make all effort to save the patient's life. Reassurance the doctors looking after such patients would continue to make every possible effort. And there are 2 different teams involved in these situations. The intensive care team and transplant team may alleviate these concerns. D. Justice. Presumed consent is key to justice and treats equal opportunities for patients who need organs well more for team. Shortage of donors means that not all patients who require transplanting equal opportunities to donor organ. Any measure likely to increase the supply of organs is never congruent with justice, which requires equal opportunities for all. However, it must be sure that all who object to organ donation have the opportunity to register their wishes under presumed consent. I don't have time to be on the review. Got those.
Read everything except the interview?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to delete that really quick.
Oh, also, I accidentally copy-pasted the same aliens unseen evidence twice, but the tag was different because I had to copy-paste a different card, so don't worry about that.
Okay, everyone ready?
Yeah.
If principalism does principalism prescribe a normative duty?
Yeah, principalism prescribes
so
normative duties.
It says that we should, alright, got it. So it says that we should take the action of what?
That we should act in a way that appropriately balances autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice.
Which is presumed consent.
Yeah, presumed consent is good under all 4 of those principles, so vote aft, because presumed consent is an excellent idea.
How do we weigh between principles? What if I prove it's bad for beneficence, but it's good for maleficence?
We would weigh the stringency of the duties. For example, if you read a counterplan that's really good under beneficence, but is terrible under autonomy, we would prefer presumed consent, which is good under both principles, because the ends do not justify the means.
So
intuitively. And I say intuitions are good.
Okay, what does it mean to be good? Isn't that a comparative standard, i.e. if there's a better option than whatever plan you choose, if it's worse is a worse standard. That's a bad standard. It's
based on our intuitions, which derive from our multifaceted personal relationships.
The AC is entirely an example of intuitions.
The Desaulniers 6 evidence says that monistic moral theories are bad. I don't describe a unified principle or like a single rule as to what constitutes good or bad.
How do I know what constitutes beneficence or maleficence or any of the other 2 principles?
Well, beneficence is benefiting others. Non-maleficence is the duty of doing no harm.
This doesn't tell me how I link arguments into that, Adam. All this tells me is what the definition.
Well, Wellborn tells you how to link arguments in. She says that presumed consent links in.
I understand. So I obviously can't defend presumed consent. So
sure, but you can make arguments such as how presumed consent might lead to more people being harmed.
So what I need to know is how do I link arguments into these principles? What is...
You're a smart guy. I think you can come up with arguments.
No, I have never read this philosophy before. 3 minutes is a little short. I don't understand how I can link arguments into these principles when these principles don't delineate...
Use your intuitions. Beneficence means benefiting others. It's
so if I use my intuition to come up with arguments, can you delink those in the 1AR?
Yeah, I'll use my intuitions. We'll debate about what's intuitive.
Okay, so the AC is entirely debating whatever judges feel intuitive. Why do we need...
No, we have a debate about it. The goal is to try and be convincing.
If
that's what debate is.
Okay, if the argument is that within principalism, people should do whatever is intuitive, and that intuition might take one of 4 shapes. Those are the 4 principles. Why do we ever need to have a debate? Judges should just decide based on whatever they feel is most intuitive right now.
Well, no, because presumed consent's a controversial issue. I defend wide reflective equilibrium.
I understand.
Let me finish. I do not simply defend accepting our intuitions. Wide reflective equilibrium.
I have a different question.
Okay.
Are there any theory spikes in the AC? Anything that I can't do?
No, but wide reflective equilibrium also says that we have to look at non-evaluative facts as well.
Dude, I don't care. So let's go to the offense. If I prove that the AC does not respect autonomy more than whatever my standard is, that's sufficient reason to vote nay, right?
Well, I can prove that the other duties are more stringent.
Right, but if I say that I'm dead even on the other duties, but I say I'm better in this one specific instance because I respect autonomy better, that's the reason you would me.
Yeah, that's how terms work.
Cool. I'm just checking because this standard is really confusing because of things like intuition. That's apparently sufficient reason.
Well, so I was trying to clarify if you weren't so rude to interrupt me. I defend wide reflective equilibrium.
Okay, again, I'm not interested. So the negative argument is if I make the argument that we should do some portion of the AC that's able to solve. For example, if I read conscription and I said I'm able to solve, I am dead even on the other instances and better benefits.
No, conscription's not dead even on autonomy.
If it were to be.
Well, it's not.
If it were to be.
But it's not.
Look, I'm attempting to get arguments.
But they're bad arguments.
Starting crowd. left order will be 2 off AC.
Sorry, what did you say?
Order is 2 off in AC.
Can you flash that to me?
Oh yeah.
It's fairly fundamental craft of judging the case.
Listening?
1 in C4.
I think that's debatable.
So they tell us, right?
I'm ready.
A is the interpretation of the act must explicitly delineate a topical adjective supported by a qualified solve of the act in the literature that specifies how the system policy presumes to implement the act from this includes the country of the adjective for the type of object amount of and the method for which translation is no adjective, no specification of policy means that I can't make regard considering specific terms. I can also get specific studies. Standards 1 is Wayne Graham. I don't know the scope of impact, so I don't know what he does doing, especially claims our grand top literature self the answer makes Wayne impossible. I don't know how to benefit the nucleation of this opportunity to different cross country false numerous logistical various legislation policy being wrong 11. Presumed to provide hard up network memory time self up after the vision but which are considered for country systems presumed to the very uses of practice being part of statute for 10 years organization to do is not presumed to the list of agents introduction these systems provide every member of community content or are through often a way ground to keep various ideas that field to quantify where looks like no be engaged to often office valid creature of the AC because I don't even know what the intuition principle of the AC are so I can be able to know exactly what the policy is or be able to make any type of judgments that way to reach the A is not the function friendly with my best arguments and the positions to use my preference in around certain B students counterpoint arguments to be clarifying functional competition for example I could break the data arguments of why would defense often center hard consensus whatever the AC model is but when you refuses to defend a model, he doesn't defend a model specified advocates the AC condition term does 2 is equal advocate. There's no possibility of one airship from the defined to bounded advocate for further ground and steering after ground and anything else for specification whatever so my construction can reclarify what defends the one airship then historical benefit like dead read off so that there's a biggest thing fair key is go to fairness go to fixed space can opportunity for equal opportunity but also get a roll balance can object the type of winner if you run a list both pictures equal chance of theory includes substance gateway you can get up truly when there's substance use and drop the beta subplot argumentation to claim higher circumstances of unwriting of your argument first place and it's possible drop the argument if argument doesn't have the advocacy can drop the advocacy doesn't have the first place and no RBS one RBS for the first one clear advantage to exactly benefit from the RBS to was being for reason position 5 it's only to be that's the only beta matters when we're playing security had this spread back days months period this debate choose RBS specifies running theory check back actually if I lose agree lose run correction this solve running back theory because the winner for theory debate by intuitive theory bad base choose more technical shooting theory debate degrees RBS identifies a theory theories RBS puts down line I think something bigger position clear for a theory losing theory the possibly check back potential but takes confirm strategy reject RBS could be some ways all the students the first theory picture of the rest will destroy the ability of data check these words that RBS works negative field theory which means types data now it's hopefully your physical spreads at the end sure which are collapsing to one the RBS and mental series. Second off is the biopractic. First is framework. Politics is inherently bound to require subordination to others, such as people's constant objective channel spread state action that we both close to maintaining channel spreads in Simmons 99. One justice universalized philosophy is yet another step away from the other. The universalization ethical responsibility states inherently unethical violence to states treat the others interchangeable conflicts used by denying and and the institutions the conflict the ethical relations against freedom to criticize against just leaders, not about the people chosen from among the people in ethical nation societies rebelling against justice. One thing each order the geopolitics functions both their certain politics are closer to controlling the internal the AC because the AC is talking about the entirely ethical arguments that government can never reverse that ethics seems to rise by the ethical system arguments that government can access that second arguments also control the entropy against justice arguments at the bottom defining argument talks about the state is neighbor chief by justice and the judge is in position to physical legis quasi is being skeptical to universal normative that really interrogating the genealogical structure morality test thing when AC did is no one in 94 the intellectual meeting commitment to less benefits the universal norms which destroy the evidence generality the intellectual not grand theories analysis critics not pretty stable it's involves recognition everything is activities critics not matter saying that things are not right they are rather pointing at what kind of assumption what possibility unchallenged testimonies thought can be accepted expressed but it is no longer accepted no longer accepted such as soon as we can think no longer accepted political possible the intellectual dust creating space in which we work themselves. 2 impacts 1 is epistemology we have to challenge university intellect resolution mandates blind history slightly because the underlying assumptions are made unquestioned epistemology claims some very to understand the possible how we know what is subject to 2 is the role of balance because in of ethics social and justice the judge can pass peace policy and for this towards slightly for big starting universal model starting to link back to the AC firm is AC firm the AC you should do whatever is constitutive your function markers your function to be an educated education this court because of less longer lasting impact and engage criticism and lengths first presumed consent is unjustified shift power state of the body shifting the burden of object the individual concludes the ability to treat density is going to classify the autonomy arguments basic but those don't apply because simply the state gains control it's not a matter of whether the individual still have choice I can see this still have choice and it's increased control it's Rondell 110 a nutrient object is an example of power shift state in the individual power to command perception state is government becoming owner of the body part perception that states body with consent which is controlled by state and controlled state when they feel compliance with the state granted progress and earned when they see government the rotating looking to discuss the jam control debate and second the ability to object does not solve the problem of state power this is used in 09 the increase in collection of personal creation for government business into original first practices which they avoid stripping reasons to justifiably ways contributing to expansion of routine information abuse comprehensible theory. Third is that presumed consent is arbitrary, it's a line drawing problem that paves way for the word hearings. Presumed consent grants state property over prison justifies domination, but they control legal and job continuity. The AC goes by the increasing amount of domination that exists, so people will be able to control plots at all 10. Saunders assumed that organizations give such abuse of consent influence to moral such application-based weight. Richard that produce consent contribute to organization stages and entities or ownership of individual's body and organs to the force organization political stating or responsible for legislation proposed. Its own version given people also control the interlink at the top. The AC version is interlinked to the odds of the AC because my argument is that the societal obligation to what he's talking about what individuals have an obligation to principles is denied by the ability of the government and the alternative. Debate is an intellectual speech, adopting the roles of intellectual requires interrogating Bible for practice 20C. The private as a previous is necessarily bad, but requires us to invest in the possibility that may be dangerous and mutually exclusive with the doors and against an obligation which one he says across the nation we presume it's an obligation to take action on based on presumed consent to question shocking power risk extinction bar R in 90. A political stall, act interest benefit in this reach like politics play with standing system living being question period political landscape on the history of public sports and policy on the other side situating extra level of life large scale phenomenon population was by type of things led fashion political thought deception those practice normalization made a small potential for the same even as the such and developing science for which response to the illusion of the powers of the defense led to death and reverting presumably science applied to God. We must resist the temptation to act now when gets efforts precisely demand that we can enact solutions that first value the mindset find that sustains biopolitics doesn't preclude policy action, but rather calls for prioritization critical analysis ratio 7. Response should not be conceptualized position that deny the correlation between the possibility of the question not of action producing mentality and maximize economies fire the absence of critical thinking commanded by the application of political relation includes condition to actors responsibility and accountability declares be become the co-authors the emancipated section of policy void of ethics fiction because the result of it irresolvable and meaning outside of political responsibilities but politics rational heart data control the internally top to AC because my argument is that my argument is governments make that it is ethical and impossible to achieve within the context of government if we don't first step back and criticize my argument is that presumed consent is bad, rather we should not stop saying that presumed consent is good, instead step back and think no, specifically to the AC group. So, starting on autonomy. One, the entirety of bypacker keeps determining the autonomy arguments because I'm saying that deeply the autonomy of individuals is. Evidence is talking about how in a specific instance of presumed consent is a good thing, but my argument is a broader scope, i.e. once presumed consent happens, governments are able to take more control. It's a long-term effect. Second piece, as more people prefer this, that's supposed evidence that's not sufficient. That's not sufficient need. That's not sufficient need because my argument is even more people prefer they don't understand the impacts of biopolitics. Autonomy controls the other internally to the others because in order for an individual to be able to make a specific decision, they have, in order to be able to make decisions beneficial to other people, they have to be able to make their own decisions. My argument is that I control the internally being able to make decisions in the first place. Internally is important because it means that you can't access principles of opposites at the top. But also, it's over the AC. Argument is not that presumed consent itself is a bad thing. Rather, the question of saying that we should normally act and presumed consent is bad. He has to prove opposite why saying that it's a normative good is a good thing rather than simply proving that presumed consent itself is a good thing. I have shifted the question to be away from what the 1AC says into a question of whether or not action itself is a good or bad thing in the context of that further realization and reflection.
Okay. So, to be clear, because the function of the judge is to be a specific intellectual, they should evaluate the K before theory, right?
Absolutely not, because I also make a roll to ballot argument on theory.
Wait, so theory does come before the K?
There is no implication. The difference is that...
No, I'm asking you to explain this to me logically, clearly, because the function of the judge is to be a specific intellectual.
Would you also like me to read the function of the judge is to evaluate the arguments?
Yeah, but which function of the judge is more important?
It's also key to the roll of ballot. You can't objectively decide the winner of the debate unless both debaters have equal chance to win. My argument is that I don't make a specific implication as to which is more important, because that's impossible without actual context in the round. I can't tell you...
Okay, I'm asking you to give me that context right now. I'm trying to be reasonable with you.
No, I'm being reasonable because I can't
tell you. Let's talk about the alternative.
Okay.
So you say that my representations are dangerous because I do not consider the possibility that presumed consent would be bad. But wouldn't any affirmative, by engaging in a debate itself, be open to the possibility that presumed consent is bad?
No, I specifically asked you, do you think presumed consent is a normative good? Does the AC say that we should act on presumed consent? Both of those answers were yeses. My argument is that...
Wait, so what was I supposed to say? I don't know what Foucault is supposed to tell me, so...
My argument is that that is a bad thing, that affirming it in and of itself and saying that we should be absolutely sure that it is a normative good is a bad thing.
Okay, so let's talk about the Radhana 10 evidence.
Yeah.
So you extend an argument at the top that you don't deny that presumed consent ensures people can make free choices, but then you make an authoritarianism argument. But how would I lead to authoritarianism if you concede that people can make free choices in the world?
That's the initial argument, right? So initially, people can make their own choices about whether or not they opt out. The Hughes of 9 evidence is the response to why that's still an issue. The argument made under POTS 10 is that it spills over, that it might start...
What are the preconditions for autonomy in the world of the critique? What does it take to have freedom?
What does it take to have... Like, yes. Freedom is a definition outside of any specific...
No, I'm asking you to define freedom for me according to your alternative.
There's a dictionary there. Do you want to use that? What is the...
Well, I want you to tell me something.
The alternative doesn't...
Because I'm sure that dictionary doesn't agree with Foucault.
Okay, Okay, the alternative doesn't define freedom.
Well, I want you to, because otherwise your critique is incoherent, because you're making authoritarianism arguments without defining
The entirety
freedom.
of the critique defines oppression in a way that says that if we don't step back and examine what our mindsets are, then we will lead to the problems of the
But what is oppression in the world of the critique?
What do you mean, what is oppression?
What is oppression?
Is the inability to make certain choices.
Okay, you say in the world of presumed consent, people can still make free choices, so what is the oppression?
Adam, please. The first card says specifically that even though people still can make their own choices, the assumption about whose body it is changes. That the government now has control over the body, and we have to fight to get our body back.
But what's the impact to control over your own body if you can still make free choices?
That's an expansion of government power.
But why is that bad if you still have freedom?
Because first, we have to ask the government to give our body back. Not only is the government likely to deny that right, but second, that enables the government to expand their powers. The Potts evidence, and you simply seem to ignore, is that even when we create the societal obligation to donate, as though it is a good thing, which is what the AC says,
Are any societal obligations good in the world of the alternative?
No, it says that this specific one is a bad thing.
Are any societal obligations good in the world of the alternative?
I don't take a stance on that.
I'm asking you to take one.
Why would I just answer whatever question?
Because you're being vague and incoherent. I'll take credit.
Okay.
quickly on the K, then counterintuitive piece show. Just don't expect that.
I'm sorry, K is shell.
Yeah, K counterintuitive show.
Oh, counter.
Yeah. Sounds good?
1 second. Yeah, good.
Fairness outweighs the role of the ballot being a specific election. He says that fairness matters for the function of the judges, otherwise you would not be able to objectively decide the round. If the round is skewed, that would also mean that you would not be able to objectively decide who is being the better intellectual or who is doing the better stepping down, which means fairness necessarily precedes substance, because if substance is skewed, that skews your ability to determine whether the alternative is actually a good idea or whether the app would be better. Now, the counter-interpretation of the app does not have to specify just deciding over a specific implementation mechanism in an explicit text. They have clarified a conception of normal means at some point in the ACID. I read the Rosenblum and I'll evidence that family veto is normal means, which clearly implies that I'm defending. This solves 100% of the abuse, since I've clarified at some point in the AC that I am defending normal means. You can definitely link distance to that or clarify based on top of what constitutes normal means, and I would have been perfectly willing to defend that. There are additional reasons to prefer one no abuse. The same issues of organ shortage, autonomy violations, medical ethics, biopower, etc. usually apply regardless of the country. 2, top of the, and implementation mechanism. 2, top of the, most app authors say presumed consent is good overall. Specific examples are used to justify a general conclusion, not why specific countries should do the app. 3 CX checks. He didn't ask me in cross-6 to specify something, so reject his interpret. That's 7 official A predictability. He'll only ask me to defend the app that he wants to be topic education. CX checks avoid frivolous theory debates. So you can read theory if I refuse to say. Wait, no, skip that. 4 limits. His interp means if and apps debaters can spectrum into countries along with different salty mechanisms, predictable limits, skills, fairness, and education, since debaters can't form in-depth strategies that they've prepped for hundreds of apps, whereas the counter-interpretation is better for limits because if I defend normal means, then that only allows for one app with a certain number of parameters, whereas I'd be defending an unbalanced interpretation of the resolution, and then there would just be additional clarifications based upon how most countries have done presumed consent, and limits are a prerequisite to other offense. Large limits kill the activity round 84. Decline of policy debates had to excessively broad topics, limiting the number of participated breadth of the topics is almost destroyed. Topics they're unable to cope with the breadth. Broad topics of scourge experience evasion from student participation programs cease functioning, and applicants are guys on a counter terms. One air times means I can't cover the area and still have a fair shot at substance, and 1 air times use the largest link fairness is the root cause of math and side bias, and air off in theory because of next side bias. This means that the theory debate takes more than 5 minutes to evaluate. Just completely vote out since I had to overcome structural issues, which means that in the event the theory debate was closed, I necessarily did the better debating. Also, 1 air times you always checking abuse. He says checking abuse is the most important consideration on the theory debate, but given the 1 air times you, given that I don't have a fair chance of covering both theory and substance, we'll never really know if I was abusive unless I have to collapse the theory, because if I had to cover both theory and substance, I would only be able to give a really superficial treatment on theory, which means we would never have a genuine debate over whether I was actually being abusive because of the times you notice theory lessons with the AC and impact calculus. Here I otherwise RBI's got options to 3 levels. 1, probability. The status quo proves that side bias goes negative even with RBI's, so there's still tons of theory, so its impacts like chilling effect are empirically denied. 2, magnitude. Neg bias outweighs app bias because it exacerbates existing structural issues. 3, it turns all offense because apps provide sketchy cases to counter NC theory. The status quo proves thesis chilling effect. 1, no uniqueness. Theories overused now. Try your time the app. 2, turn chilling good. Theories on educational. It makes me sad. I always have magnitude because it's literally destroying topic debate. 3, turn. I don't weigh in probability. Over chilling is empirically denied in the last 3 years. RBI debates. 4, turn. I have a strong link theory. Is totally no risk, but RBI's aren't because the neck no is with theory against abuse bases. Smooth the RBI. He says that lead to abuse bases. 1, RBI never deter good theory because you can win the interp regardless of the RBI. 2, turn forces ACs. 2, go for looking theory spikes to check back the threat notice theory. 3, no around B side never read sketch ACs. 4, turn. Strategically ways good checks back Netflix and big school prep as. He says that him having to collapse the theory leads to times to no, it doesn't. His internal ward is multiple layers, but it wouldn't lead to multiple layers because it would just collapse down to the interpretation and the counter-interpretation. Also, no impact in context. I'm totally willing to beat you in 2 AR on this shelf because spec is silly. Also, this is an altruistic theory argument he's making. Those are bad because he's trying to say that by losing the RBI would not be beneficial for me, but I think that the RBI is beneficial for me, which means his altruism argument here has no impact because he's saying that he's trying to promote a practice that would be beneficial for the affirmative. He says RBIs force a theory debate because no, they don't. You can just not read frivolous theory. Also, RBIs are key to deterring frivolous theory because it means you have to think twice about whether your interpretation actually makes sense. The alternative would be infinite spurious theory, even more than there already is now in the activity, because there would be no actual check on that, which means that RBIs are not going to lead to more people running theory. Even if RBIs might force a theory debate in a single round, RBIs would lead to less theory long term. They aren't going to force more theory debates.
Okay, cool. Starting prep by 3:58. Can you open up your laptop and all of these? Right, sorry, I just have a lot of things open.
Yeah. That's what I saw.
Okay, Harry, tell me about
That stuff. Changed into your birthday, you know.
Right.
You didn't read the C subpoint, right? It's the extra.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So order will be on educator theory, or sorry, on framework. Offense, that's 0 and 94. Or wherever you flow, like you roll the valid arguments, and then we'll go to spec. And we'll start on my interventions. Is there new stuff that you're going to want me to watch here?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm sure I might be able to have it now. Let's get that. There.
Well, kind of like you, right?
Oh yeah. There'll be an overview first.
Okay, sorry, a lot of time went by. How much?
Okay.
What's it? Give it to me.
So there'll be an overview on K theory flows. Just you should flow that next to Owen or wherever you flow roll the ballot. Then we'll go to roll the ballot. Then we'll go to the spec shell itself, starting at my interpretation. Got it? Okay. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
I told him that's just an overview. I told him cross-examination that I won't be able to specify which the two converse. He only makes one argument as why theory supports critique. That's because theory values the theory reflects way with subject value. I can make a bunch of other reasons why theory supports theory, and he can't read new reasons because I didn't specify which two came first, and I told him that I would only be able to specify in the two arguments was conceded in cross-examination. Moreover, he only reads a single reason. Don't let him expand beyond this reason. First, extensions because he's dropping things all over the place. The 0 and 94 evidence that the your role is a specific critical intellectual usage simply accepting whichever side does a better job of critiquing. The fact that he does zero job critiquing also the arguments that make up the alternative says the AC never critiques but simply says pursue the normative field means that he can't shift out of that interpretation. There are two implications. One is that the theory debate is important because the theory debate is simply about the specification of the policy. The arguments regardless of whether or not they specify a specific policy, they still said that we should take back the normative field means the question of critique is an issue. This might be an issue. Again, red arguments against critique at all, but the fact that he chose not to challenge critique all means when I concede the second argument, the second argument he's conceding is off. The alternative that's the Bernard 90 evidence. So all of his impacts on the AC are all impact theory. The impact here is Bernard 90 says the most important thing is within the space this is a political space situated except like that we should look at the population themselves of what we want in terms of education. My evidence really specific. They simply conceded said the most important thing is to question by political relations. The AC does literally absolutely nothing. The only speech act that actually questions by political relations is the Bernard 90 evidence. Also, you said the grace no section must resist the temptation act. That's also what applies to the theory debate question. Like the argument is that you should question and step back assume question by political relationship. The only argument that he's making is that theory somehow frames this issue. One, specifically not true in this instance because he chooses not at all, especially because fact doesn't have any relation to our arguments. I don't think this is a violation because our arguments of firepower is more important in this specific instance. Second, is that even if fact is more important, the fact that he chooses to make no arguments means his speech act is devoid. There is no value that you can get about. Third, at best they function on the same level, i.e. that there is some type of discussion, a bipolitical discussion in front of the theory also is important because it relates to that bipolitical discussion. My argument is that since I am the only one with any bipolitical discussion outweighs any of the RBI's arguments, I am the only one able to make those arguments, and that all of these were conceded arguments, so don't let it make new responses to these, or any of the ones that shall be sort of specific cross-applications, but there are more. Read something further, page 431, is that for theory people for evaders, what happens around whether or not we're scared on education doesn't affect the person way they critique us, and further critique the person student reject position and harmful position before it. We have the second that your role is just primarily being educated, educate your duty to educate the future generation, far more important than to be after your stands get the impact. I also read this, I said that it's important because you are an educator. That's, remember, when I cross-applied the AC framework, I said that your role is as an educator. Your role as an educator, specifically only to look at the framework. This cross-application made from the AC about the constitutive function. This is also conceded. None of the theory impacts impact the education. My argument is that you're an educator. That means you consider the education impacts before, then go to spec. I will concede his RPI's argument said that's just one theory debate because he does an absolutely awful job off my interpretation. He says that he's all the opposite of my interpretation. My interpretation, he doesn't choose the implication. One is that he doesn't say what country he defends, so he doesn't solve the implication. Second, he doesn't specify the type branch of implementation, i.e. he doesn't say which branch of government or which branch is able to take that action to be, and he also concedes the entirety of the shell. That's not a really good way to win because be able to win the spec debate. So first, extend the Wayne ground standard. I don't know the scope of your facts. I don't know what defending, especially if you claim to ground top glitch by solving gap. That's first implication. I say specifically after solving gap. His offense is Wayne because it does't say either the way in which it's passed, nor what country passes, nor what the implementation of enforcement practice as far as uniquely true in the ethics of the Braun 11 evidence. Braun 11 also talks about the differences between countries, that every country is different about the implementation. This is all conceded that they also concede the Wayne also means that one, not specifying structurally different you link by best arguments and positions. B is my prep in round strategy. B, students that canceling error prevents me clarifying functional competition. You think you need diagrams is specified by the resolution. I also give you a specific way. I can't read any counterpoint to be affirmative that talks about the bad thing which is implemented or can't talk about any specific country. This is game over on the theory debate. These conceded two unique reasons why it looks back at the second stable advocacy standard that there's no possibility for one error shifting. Well, one error can shift under his standard because even though he specifies normal means, you know this in policy, you still need plain text in policy because normal means just determines what the implication they don't specify. It doesn't determine where that is. And you can also say that the supreme country claim is also cross applies to his arguments. Control the interlink to limits because the limits if bad student allows for the AC to shift out the way because even if we increase the breadth of discussion, we never actually get a depth in discussion because one error will just shift out one of the advocates also controls the so then go to his shell. No abuse. One the entirety of my response to my interpretation proof why there is abuse in this specific standard because independent like the proof why there is abuse off the top literature standard. One, even if that's not unique because at best I access the same topic literature because you can still read your generic cards and say why they specifically apply to this specific country. To turn it increasing amount of topic literature we have access to because you are forced to not only use a specific card, i.e. good for the cards that easy why it's good for specific good for all countries. Then said why this is also why it applies to this specific country. Third, turn an increased amount of topic literature because people there are systems that specifically describe Spain, or specifically describe France, different types of systems that say one day would be good for this specific instance. This is not and especially when you call for his evidence out around his evidence identifies Spain and why and it's different identifies Spain and why. It's specifically important off the CX checks argument. One CX says check this specific instance, especially because I see it specifies solvent gap. You can't read a solvent gap in stocks examinations, so the violation still applies. All these things literally just said long don't extend them to reason reject self second at best. Even if you go for this is the reason why his interp is better than my interp. That's the reason you reject interp means he doesn't get access to the RBI because RBI says he has to win the counter interp. This doesn't win the counter interp, just says that the interp itself is a bad reason off the predictability standard. One, not only with A is in the AC is predictable, he's flash the AC further on, so only it's waste you have to waste CS the top education doesn't link to it. There is no education standard, just read see all his limits arguments. One, turn limits are better than turn limits are better in my world because he said that after defendant infant math apps and also supercharged by the stable advocacy standard because he can read multiple he can read one app that transforms into different apps and one yard that outweigh because even if we don't have access to multiple different stable apps to control the interlink because the fact that the AC can shift is scamming because one and C can never create a strategy. So here an overall Wayne analysis so this is Wayne that I did on separate parts of the flow that I'm bringing here. You prefer conceded standards versus especially in the message theory debate like this and he says like you error app that doesn't mean if you takes more than 5 minutes each side but regardless I give you specific Wayne standards why my conceded standards come first and he can't make any responses.
Okay, so the order is the critique, then the theory.
Which part of the K you starting with?
I'm going to be starting on the fairness before the K arguments.
Got it.
Sounds good?
Yep.
Even if he's extending conceded evidence on substance, the cross applications to theory were new, which means that I can answer them now. Now I'm going to redo evidence, but I'm just going to beat back these terrible arguments that he's going for. He says that I didn't even engage with the K, which means my speech act is fundamentally devoid. But he concedes that because of the 1 hour time square, I was unable to actually engage with the K. That was one of my argument justifications. That because he's reading frivolous theory, I did not have a fair chance of covering both theory and substance, which means I necessarily have the class of theory. I did not have enough time on substance to actually engage with the K the way he wanted me to. He says that your function is being an educator, but in context, he also said your function is to adjudicate fairness as well. If he genuinely believes that your function is primarily to be an educator, he should have said that in context instead of avoiding my questions, which means he doesn't get to make this new to in our way, because if he logically believes in these arguments, he should have actually said that in context if he insists that your primary role is to be an educator. But also you can evaluate it on a strength of link question, because I definitely have really greatly expanded. He's also conceded that the RBI is a good norm, that you should vote out for the RBI if I win the counter term. That outweighs his arguments why your role is to be an educator, because even if your role is normally to be an educator, you need to vote out for the RBI in order to turn this frivolous theory shell, which is beneficial for debate. He says that we are people before we're debaters, but we are debaters in this particular context. Also, you've heard about biopower all the time, which is a reason why you don't uniquely need to learn about it now as a so-called as a person. Now the counter. He's conceded validating for the limits are prerequisites to other office large limits to the activity. He says the shifting means that he wouldn't be able to prepare next grad, but breadth or depth of topics comes first. The validating for it says that if topics are excessively broad, then people are not going to be participating in the activity at all. People that are not participating in the activity aren't going to care whether I shift my attitude or not, because they're actually going to be able to participate. Also, the no abuse argument solves 100% of the shifting argument, because the same issues of origin shortage, autonomy, medical ethics, biopower, etc. usually apply regardless of the implementation mechanism of our country. Which means even if I can shift in the 1AR, his biopower critique would still logically apply. Also, normal means soft-shiftiness. He says I conceded the shell, but no, you didn't. You just didn't pay attention. My solve the abuse argument takes this out. It implicitly clashes with his stable adequacy argument. You can cross-line here. I solve the abuse because the fact that I said in the AC normal means is a clear reason why you can hold me to something stable, because we all know what normal means is. He says that in policy you still need a plan text even when normal means, but he begs the question of why that is a good convention for debate. Just because policy debaters have a plan text with normal means doesn't mean I have to have a plan text with normal means. He never says by that is a necessarily required practice. The fact that I'm defending a general principle but also have normal means is a good thing, and it's most contextual to LD, because in LD you're expected to defend general principle, and it's also good to defend normal means, which means I should have that as well. Limits necessarily comes first, even if he has the terms on topically or any of the other arguments. Limits are the most important impact. Also, his weighing argument is taken out by the solve the abuse argument, because he can still make the same sort of arguments, the same issues of organ shortage, autonomy, etc. applied regardless of the app. Also, the Bram Hall 11 evidence is specific to family veto. My solve the abuse argument was also contextual to family veto, because I said that family veto is normal means. The Bram Hall 11 evidence, all it says is that there's a difference between hard opt-out and soft opt-out. It is a card about family veto. The fact that my normal means argument was about family veto is a clear reason why this weighing ground argument is total BS in context, because my normal means solve the abuse argument can clearly be cross-applied here, because my normal means argument was about family veto, and that's what Bram Hall is also talking about. Go down for the RBI.